Hey man, hey man, it's a part of the game,
Hey,
man. It's part of the game.
he made it.
No, man. I mean, he a legend, bro. He's a Hall of Famer, easily. Like the stats speak for themselves. Definitely an icon on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? He changed the game, revolutionized the game, bro. You can't argue with that. The best rebounding point guard of all time. You feel me? Can't argue with that. I mean, the big three from the Thunder are definitely all gonna be Hall of Famers. Russ is a anomaly of a player though, man. Like the shit he was able to do, some of his wildest games. Like I feel like him leaving this way, like you know what I'm saying. You looking back on the Kings jersey for 18, and just looking back on his legacy, bro. Like he's one of those reasons why like a lot of NBA vets don't stick around, bro, because niggas just get aged out the game. Like I don't understand why nobody was eager to sign him in the offseason. Like, I think he kind of got forced out the league, unfortunately, because everybody's trying to move towards small ball or trying to move towards like 5 out basketball, which is awful because he does the things that these other players don't do. Like, he's going to go get a rebound. He's going to give you energy. He's going to take a charge. He's going to get an offensive rebound. He's going to try to set up somebody else and not look to take the hero shot. So it just sucks that he got to go out like this. I mean, it's not like he went out terribly. Like he got forced out the league for real. But you know what I'm saying? I would have liked to see him at least contend one more year or for another 2 years because you can tell he still got a lot of love for the game.
I mean, I heard a lot of crazy stuff this week about Russ, and I'm gonna just keep it real short. Like, I think that Russ is, if he's not in your top 10, like point guards, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Some people got him in their top five. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. I think some of these guys that we got in the top five, they get a little. Everybody does what they need to do for their era, so I'm not going to judge nobody. I ain't sit here and dog nobody. It's supposed to be about Russ. So I just want to say congratulations to Russ. Russ did it his way, even the way that he went out. It was a lot of reports that the Kings and the Wizards were looking to maybe do something, but um, he said he wanted to dictate it in his own terms, so he went out the way he wanted to. I didn't. There was reports about him going overseas. I know he wasn't doing that. Um, the biggest thing that I think people need to understand when they talk about Russ, I've heard a lot of people say he's not a championship point guard or a championship player. Um, Everybody can't win a championship, you know. Um, I've seen Russ lead teams. I've seen Russ do some amazing things. The triple double record, the MVP, the way that he kept OKC afloat after KD left, uh, what he was able to do with the Wizards, with the Rockets, everywhere he's been, even with the Lakers. A lot of people understand the raw deal that he got. Everybody can't play together. Everybody can't play with LeBron, especially depending on when the point of your career. I mean, when LeBron had Wade, Isaiah Thomas, D Rose, everybody in Cleveland, that didn't work. Sometimes things just don't work out. But I do think that Russ gets a rough deal, and it has been a scapegoat for a lot of things. But one thing that we can say about Russ is Russ never cheated the game. Never cheated the game. Never took days off. He held his head up high regardless. Um, so I mean, I have nothing but respect and great things to say about Russ, and who to me is a top five point guard. And I wish he would have been able to play another year to see where it goes, but he said it was done. Got to dictate his terms. So shout out to Russ. nobody's ever going to break that assist record. Nobody's ever going to break that steals record. And you'll hear people say, "Oh, but he had Malone." Yeah, but Malone was number 2 in points for a long time. But he was getting assisted by Stockton, and it goes hand in hand. So Stockton would definitely be in there. I think Russ would be in there. Obviously, Steph has to be in there. Um, and then it gets really icky because you have people who love Magic. You have people who like Isaiah Thomas. You have people who look at Steve Nash's 2 MVPs, and you have people who like Chris Paul. And one thing I do want to say about Steve Nash is people are like, well, he didn't deserve. Look, bro, when you have the exact same team that you had the year before, and you win almost 40 more games, and only one person comes and changes, and you have the number 1 record in the West, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to win MVP. I mean, that's just how I look at it because it's the most valuable. And say who's the best, who scored the most points, who impacted their team the most. And if you are the one outlier from one year to the next, so I struggle with that. Personally, I like Jason Kidd. So I'd probably put Steph, Kidd, Westbrook, Stockton, and then that last spot, it gets tricky because then you have to talk about who's your favorite versus who you think is the best. I'm not a Chris Paul. I've never been a Chris Paul guy. It's well documented. I'm not a Chris Paul guy at all. But you can't deny his greatness and what he's been able to do and affect winning. So I don't know. That 4th spot is just up in the air for me. It's a lot of grace that you could put in that spot. Because I mean, look at Isaiah and what he was able to finally do. At his size, it's tough. It's tough. So I don't know. It's tough. So yeah, but those are 4 for sure. And I guess I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to do it, but I'll put Magic in there just because he was I'll put Magic in there just because he was the definition of somebody who changed the game. The way that the game was played, being able to do what he did at that size, coming into the league as a rookie, and winning and doing what he did when Kareem had went out. So I'll give it to Magic for that. And then obviously the superlatives and the accolades he's got, but it's not something that I am just thrilled about. But those would be my top 5, I guess. I just don't like when people say Magic is the greatest point guard of all time, and you gotta have Magic in. I'm like, okay, but
you don't have to.
You don't have to.
That nigga's tough though. You gotta give Magic his credit, bro. He's tough. He is tough, but what he got? What 3 rings? He won 3 rings.
I got 5.
Magic got 5 rings.
Yeah, I think he got 5. Yeah.
You shut my whole ass up then. You gotta put Magic in your top 5, man. You gotta put him in there.
That's 5, yeah.
Come on, this is I know he won one off the early, but I don't know, man. Stats is crazy. I don't know, man. Top 5 point guards, I speedball it real quick, though. You gotta go Steph. You gotta go Steve Nash. Steve Nash, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Derek Fisher. I'm a Derek Fisher fan, man. He got the rings, man. It's always like Derek Fisher and Tony Parker are my 5A, 5B type vibe, bro.
You see, as a Spurs fan, I was trying to put Tony Parker, but it didn't say my favorite because obviously Tony Parker is like my favorite point guard.
I'm about to say, just growing up, like watching the era of basketball that we watch, bro. I never think Derek Fisher got the love he should have got. I don't think Tony Parker got the love he should have got. You already got like a monster and Tim Duncan on your team. Then you got to navigate that and also Ginobili and just run that whole fast-paced Greg Popovich 3.8 offense, man. It's a lot to do, bro. So got to get them type of niggas credit, bro. Especially just growing up the era we grow. I didn't get to see Magic and Isaiah Thomas dribble the ball with 2 fingers down the court, some globetrotter shit. I wasn't there for that. So
Jay is looking in disgust because it's like he didn't say your favorite. So he's looking like Derek Fisher.
I'm just saying, bro, the era of basketball that I grew up, I didn't get to see Isaiah Thomas. I wasn't around for Bad Boys basketball, bro. The original Bad Boys. I wasn't there, but like, bro, if you watch them old, like, bro, running that triangle offense, bro, you got to be a hell of a point guard. And he made big shots. And he was on there. He was the one really playing the defense because Kobe wasn't really, he wasn't really on that defensive vibe like he needed to be back in the day. You feel me? It's a lot to navigate, and you got to be the floor general for Kobe and the Shaq. You got to get the nigga D Fisher's props, bro. I feel like he's such an underrated point guard, bro. Underrated point guard. Hey, man.
So he better than Rondo and uh damn.
IQ wise, him and Rondo might be on the same level. He got more rings than Rondo. IQ, come on, man. It's the Fizz.
Hey, give me a top 5 all time, man. Hey.
It's the Fizz, man. Respect D Fish, man. Come on. That Detroit bias. For sure.
Well, I didn't do favorites.
I
But I
didn't
put
do
Magic in
favors
there.
either.
I just want you to know you haven't said Rondo or Russ or Derrick Rose or Stockton or Tony Parker or this man. This man about to say Mike Conley.
Out of all right, all right.
Shout out to Brandon Roy, man.
You could have said Nate Robinson. Could have said
I mean, this
anybody.
man. This man said
Hey,
Derek
come on.
Fisher.
Derek Fisher's a come on, man. We not gonna disrespect Derek Fisher though. Come on, man. We not gonna disrespect. We can't disrespect D Fish,
Look,
man.
man. Shout out to Russ, bro.
You could have said Chauncey Billups. Mm-hmm.
For sure. It's 9 o'clock on Sunday. Weekend
Yeah.
over.
Weekend over, gang. We right back to it.
Tomorrow.
To it, man.
Nah, that's his go-to though. I'm getting y'all weekend right. He be there.
11:35. Yeah, bro. Let's just tap back in on Thursday, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.